My name is Yasha Swisher, and I'll be talking about LES's interest in AI benchmarking proposals for 2026. Our sponsor has two main goals with the AI benchmarking work. First is a desire to limit strategic surprise, to know quickly if a newly released model could be providing other actors with advanced capabilities. Secondly is an interest in informing government procurement decisions, being able to independently evaluate the capabilities and limitations of AI for mission-relevant use cases. To further these goals, LAS is primarily interested in supporting work that spans one or more of three areas. First, LAS is interested in supporting efforts to develop novel benchmarks that are focused on specific use cases aligned with the sponsor's mission. We'd also be interested in work to better understand the safety, security, and total cost of an AI system. And finally, we'd like to support projects around test and evaluation of agentic and other forms of AI integrated systems that would incorporate additional tools to provide capabilities beyond just the AI model itself. I'll be talking about each of these areas in turn. We follow others in thinking of benchmarks as being a set of data along with an associated metric, which together model some specific task or capability that AI might be able to perform. We'd like to see new benchmarks being developed that are tightly focused on areas of the sponsor's mission space that aren't already well represented by existing benchmarks. As examples, these areas might include domains relevant to cybersecurity or cross-lingual benchmarks. We'd expect that the specific topics that a project focuses on would reflect the particular expertise of the proposer. LAS has been describing our AI evaluation efforts as being aligned across four lanes: functionality or utility, safety, security, and compute requirements and cost. The first lane includes the traditional benchmarks described previously and captures the functional requirements for an AI system. That is, how well does it accomplish the task that will be required of it? But in many cases, the non-functional requirements, including safety, security, and cost, can be equally important. By safety, we mean unexpected negative consequences for a system's users, including issues such as bias and hallucinations, which might result in a user trusting a misleading system output. Security encompasses a broad range of possible vulnerabilities that could be exploited by an attacker. Security issues obviously become much more complex and potentially more impactful when you're considering an integrated AI system that might have access to external tools. And finally, we're concerned with understanding the compute requirements and other costs associated with running an AI system while reaching some specified level of service. In general, we feel that methods for evaluating AI systems against such non-functional requirements have lagged significantly behind efforts to benchmark AI performance, and we'd be happy to see proposals that aimed, in whole or in part, to address these gaps. A third area of interest is in evaluating integrated AI systems, including agentic approaches, which we'll discuss in a separate video. Many, if not most, of the most impactful use cases for AI generally involve additional components beyond a single AI model. RAG provides a comparatively straightforward example. RAG performance will be greatly affected by the choice of embedding model and chunking strategy in addition to the LLM itself. This complexity should be taken into account during functional benchmarking and might pose considerable challenges when evaluating safety and security, particularly given the greater attack surface and potentially greater risk inherent in a system that integrates with externally facing tools. This is going to be a rapidly evolving area over the coming year, and we'd welcome proposals from collaborators who are interested in working with us to understand and adapt to the changes that we'll see as AI becomes more tightly integrated with other systems. LAS has already been working in the area of AI benchmarking. Potential collaborators in this area should be aware that most of our existing benchmarking efforts have leveraged the INSPECT framework developed by the AI Security Institute in the UK, which we found to be very helpful in accelerating our work. We've also developed what we think is some effective tooling to help us rapidly stand up open source or open weights models in our internal environment, and we'd be happy to share these with collaborators in this area. Finally, I'll give an example of what I think would be a pretty compelling proposal on this topic. Benchmarks along these specific lines already exist, so please don't look to propose exactly this without further differentiating it from existing work, but think of it instead as giving a flavor of one sort of project that we might be interested in supporting. This hypothetical project would look to adapt tasks taken from capture the flag exercises into a benchmark for LLMs, providing a measure of a model's capabilities for red teaming and related activities. In this assessment, the LLM would be given access to tools that let it attempt the tasks autonomously in a secure environment. The benchmark would follow best practices in design and implementation, allowing for ready interpretation and reuse by others. The primary deliverable would be the runnable benchmark itself, where we could expect an initial runnable version early on in the project, leaving plenty of time for refinement and elaboration. This sort of project, if it were well aligned with mission use cases and differentiated from existing work, would be one that I expect our sponsor would have a great deal of enthusiasm for and would have a relatively high likelihood of being supported by LAS. We'd be happy to discuss further during our upcoming office hours. Thank you for your attention, and we look forward to hearing from you at the end of the month.